My dear friends, life does not change with big events, it changes with small habits. The way we breathe, the way we think, the way we act every single day shapes the destiny of our life. Just as a river shapes the hardest stone, your daily habits will shape your future. Today, I want to share with you something every woman deserves to know: 9 habits that can make your life powerful, peaceful, and purposeful. If you live by them daily, not only will your own life transform, but you will also become an inspiration for everyone around you. God has gifted each one of us immense strength, wisdom, and beauty of character, yet many times we forget this gift because we get lost in stress, comparisons, and endless responsibilities. A woman's heart is powerful, but it also carries so many burdens. What if, instead of just surviving each day, you could live with energy, clarity, and joy? That is possible, and the secret lies in the habits you choose. Just as the sun rises every day with new light, you too can rise with new strength. Let us dive into these life-changing habits that every woman must practice daily. When you open your eyes in the morning, what is the first thing you do? For many people, it is reaching out for the phone. Notifications, messages, social media, news, and all the noise of the world immediately floods the mind. And without even realizing it, your heart becomes restless, your mind starts racing, and before your day has even begun, you are already tired inside. But imagine for a moment if instead of starting the day with noise, you started the day with silence. Silence is not emptiness, silence is fullness. It is the space where you meet God, the space where you feel His presence, and the space where you prepare your heart for the entire day ahead. Think of a river early in the morning. The water is calm, undisturbed, reflecting the sky clearly. You can see the beauty of nature through it. But when storms come, the river gets disturbed, and it cannot reflect anything. In the same way, your mind in the morning is like that calm river. If you let the storms of the world enter it first, it loses clarity. But if you give your mind to silence with God, your thoughts become clear, peaceful, and strong. Every woman carries so many responsibilities on her shoulders for her family, her work, her relationships, her own self. If you begin your day rushing, running, and stressing, you are like a runner starting a marathon already exhausted. But if you begin with silence, you are like a warrior preparing for battle, standing strong and steady, ready to face whatever comes. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine a mother of 2 children who has to prepare breakfast, pack lunch boxes, get her kids ready for school, and then also get ready for work. Most mornings, she jumps out of bed, panics about time, shouts at her kids, and rushes to finish everything. By the time she reaches the office, she is already drained. But one day, she decides to wake up just 15 minutes earlier. She sits quietly, closes her eyes, and simply breathes. She thanks God for another day, she listens to the sound of silence, and she feels His presence. That small change transforms her entire day. She doesn't shout in the morning, she feels calmer, and her children notice the difference in her energy. She begins to live her day with grace, not just speed. That is the power of starting with silence. Silence does not mean doing nothing. Silence means doing the most important thing: connecting with your source. Just as a phone must be charged to work, your heart and mind must also be charged. And your charger is not social media, it is not the news, it is not even your to-do list. Your charger is God. When you connect in silence, you receive His energy, His peace, and His guidance. Even science today proves the benefits of silence. When you begin your day with calm breathing, meditation, or prayer, your stress hormones reduce, your mind becomes sharper, and your emotions stay balanced. But more than science, it is the experience that speaks louder. You begin to notice small things you ignored before: the sound of birds, the gentle light of the sun, the softness of the morning air. You begin to see life not as a burden, but as a blessing. Many people say, "I don't have time to sit in silence." But the truth is, you don't have time not to. Because when you rush into the day without grounding yourself, you lose far more time in stress, mistakes, and anger. Silence is not wasting time, silence is investing time. Just like a farmer waters the soil before expecting fruits, you must water your soul before expecting results. And let me remind you, silence is not only for saints or spiritual leaders. Silence is for every human being who wants to live better. It doesn't matter if you are a student, a mother, a businesswoman, or a homemaker. God is waiting to meet you every morning in silence. You just need to show up. Try this tomorrow. Wake up a little earlier. Don't touch your phone. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and just say in your heart, "Thank you, God, for this new day. Guide me today." Feel His presence. Even 5 minutes is enough to begin. Slowly, you will notice that you don't want to miss those minutes anymore, because they become your fuel, your strength, your peace. The greatest battles of life are not outside, they are inside. Stress, fear, anxiety, comparison, these are the battles you must face daily. And you cannot win them with noise. You can only win them with silence. A silence that is not empty, but filled with God's presence. So, remember this: the way you begin your morning decides the way you live your day. If you begin with God, you carry His light. If you begin with silence, you carry His strength. And if you carry His strength, nothing in the world can shake you. When was the last time you paused and said, "Thank you"? Not to a person, but to life itself, to God, for simply giving you one more day. Gratitude is not just a word, it is a way of living. A grateful heart does not mean a life without problems, but it means a life that can see beyond problems. It means shifting the eyes from what is missing to what is already present. Gratitude is like the sunshine that brightens every corner of your heart. Without it, even in a palace you may feel poor, but with it, even in a simple home you may feel rich. Think about this. Every morning, thousands of people do not wake up, but you do. Your eyes opened, your heart is beating, your lungs are breathing, and your body is moving. Isn't that itself a blessing worth celebrating? But how often do we take these miracles for granted? We complain if the Wi-Fi is slow, if the traffic is heavy, or if the weather is too hot or too cold. But in all these complaints, we forget that there are people praying for just one more breath, one more day, one more chance. Gratitude transforms what you have into enough, and it turns ordinary moments into extraordinary gifts. Let me share an example. Imagine a young woman who works in an office. She is always comparing her life to her colleagues. Someone got a promotion. Someone bought a new car. Someone is traveling the world. Every day she feels behind, unhappy, unworthy. Then one day, her mother falls sick and is admitted to the hospital. In those moments of fear, she realizes how precious family is. After her mother recovers, she starts keeping a small diary. Every night before sleeping, she writes 3 things she is grateful for: her mother's smile, the warm food on her table, the supportive friend she spoke to. Slowly, her attitude changes. She no longer wakes up feeling empty, but full. Not because her problems disappeared, but because her eyes opened to what was already there. That is the power of gratitude. Gratitude is like wearing a new pair of glasses. The world remains the same, but the way you see it changes completely. The cloudy sky becomes beautiful because you realize it gives rain. The traffic becomes bearable because you realize you still have a vehicle to sit in. The simple meal becomes special because you remember there are millions sleeping hungry tonight. Gratitude shifts your heart from scarcity to abundance. Even in the most difficult situations, gratitude can bring light. Let's take another simple example. A mother is struggling financially. She cannot buy her children expensive toys or clothes. Yet, instead of crying every night, she tells her children stories, she hugs them, she makes simple meals with love. Her children grow up not complaining about what they lacked, but remembering how much love they received. That mother's gratitude became her strength, and her children's wealth was not in material, but in values. When you practice gratitude daily, your relationships also transform. How often do we take the people around us for granted? A husband forgets to thank his wife for the meal. A wife forgets to thank her husband for working hard. Children forget to thank parents for sacrifices. Friends forget to thank each other for support. But when we start saying small words like, thank you, with sincerity, hearts open, gratitude creates closeness, and closeness creates love. There is a beautiful secret about gratitude. The more you thank, the more you receive. Life begins to reward those who notice its blessings. Why? Because a grateful heart is open, and when the heart is open, abundance flows in. On the other hand, a complaining heart shuts itself off, and even blessings cannot enter. That is why some people, despite having so much, feel empty, while others with very little glow with joy. Now, let's make this practical. Gratitude is not something you feel once in a while. It is something you must practice daily, like brushing your teeth or eating food. Try this simple habit every morning when you wake up. Before touching your phone, say 3 things you are thankful for. It could be as simple as, I am grateful for this breath. I am grateful for my family. I am grateful for another day to try again at night. Before you sleep, repeat this practice. Write it in a diary or whisper it in prayer. Over time, you will notice your heart becoming lighter, your stress becoming smaller, and your joy becoming deeper. Imagine your life as a garden. Complaints are weeds, and gratitude is water. If you keep watering weeds, your garden will be overrun. But if you water the flowers with gratitude, your garden will bloom beautifully. The choice is yours. Every day you can feed the weeds, or you can nurture the flowers. Remember, this gratitude is not about waiting for everything to be perfect. Gratitude is about realizing everything is already a gift. If you have food, you are richer than millions. If you can walk, you are stronger than many. If you can love, you are blessed beyond words. So instead of saying, I will be grateful when my life changes, say, I will be grateful and my life will change. Oh, gratitude is the song of the soul. It brings peace, it brings strength, and it brings happiness. And when a woman practices gratitude daily, her entire family, her workplace, and her community feel her light. Because gratitude is not just a practice, it is a vibration, an energy, a way of living that inspires everyone around you. Time is the most precious gift God has given us, yet it is also the gift we waste the most. Money lost can be earned again, health lost can sometimes be recovered, but time lost never returns. Once a moment is gone, it is gone forever. That is why discipline with time is not just a habit, it is a necessity for a meaningful life. Without time discipline, even the most talented person fails. But with time discipline, even the simplest person can achieve greatness. Think of a woman's daily routine. She wakes up, checks her phone, gets lost in scrolling, and before she knows it, 30 minutes are gone. She rushes through breakfast, runs late for work, misses deadlines, and by night she feels exhausted yet unproductive. The reason is not lack of ability, but lack of time management. Now imagine the same woman decides to become disciplined with her time. She sets a routine, wakes up on time, spends her first minutes with silence, plans her day, and sticks to it. Suddenly her energy feels different. She finishes her work, she has time for herself, and she even smiles more because she is not always rushing. The only difference was discipline with time. Time is like water in your hand. If you are careless, it slips away. If you cup your hands carefully, you can hold enough to quench your thirst. In the same way, when you live without discipline, time leaks from small cracks. Endless gossip, unnecessary scrolling, procrastination, distractions. But when you live with discipline, every drop of time is used wisely, and those drops turn into an ocean of achievements. Let me give you a practical example. A student has an exam in 1 month. She spends her days saying, "I'll study tomorrow." 1 week before the exam, she panics, stays up all night, and still performs poorly. Another student decides to discipline her time. She studies 2 hours every day without waiting for tomorrow. By the time the exam arrives, she is confident and calm. The same exam, the same month, but 2 different results, all because of discipline with time. Discipline with time also brings peace. A disorganized life is full of stress because everything is last minute. Running late for meetings, forgetting tasks, rushing through responsibilities, all of this creates inner tension. But when you respect your time, you also respect your mind. You create space for calmness because you are not always chasing what you already lost. One of the greatest illusions of life is thinking we have plenty of time. We say, "I will do it tomorrow. I will take care of myself later. I will spend time with family when I am free. I will connect with God when I grow old." But tomorrow is not promised. The only guaranteed time we have is now. Discipline is about valuing this. No, instead of pushing everything into a future that may never come. Imagine a woman working in an office. She decides to dedicate just 1 hour every evening to her passion of painting. At first, it seems small. But because she stays disciplined, within 6 months she has a collection of paintings. Within a year, she is invited to display them in an exhibition. What began as 1 disciplined hour became a new identity, a new joy. That is the hidden magic of time. When you invest it consistently, it multiplies beyond your imagination. Discipline with time also means learning to say no. Many people lose their time not because they are lazy, but because they cannot refuse distractions. They say yes to every invitation, every conversation, every demand. But a wise woman knows that every yes to something unimportant is a no to something important. If you say yes to gossip, you say no to growth. If you say yes to procrastination, you say no to progress. Discipline is not about being strict for no reason. It is about protecting your limited hours for things that truly matter. Even in spiritual life, discipline with time is crucial. If you say, "I will pray when I find time," you may never find it. But if you fix a time daily and honor it, that small practice will become your strength. God does not ask for hours, He asks for sincerity. And sincerity shows itself in discipline. Think of nature itself. The sun rises and sets on time. The seasons come and go on time. The waves of the ocean move in rhythm. The heartbeat beats in order. Everything in creation follows discipline. That is why it is beautiful and balanced. If the sun rose late one day, the entire world would fall into chaos. In the same way, When you lack time discipline, your personal world becomes chaotic. But when you align yourself with discipline, your life flows in harmony with the universe. Now let us make this practical. Start small. Wake up at a fixed time every day. Decide your top 3 priorities for the day and finish them first. Reduce time on distractions. Create boundaries for work, rest, and family. Do not wait for the perfect system. Start with small, consistent steps. Over time, you will realize that discipline does not restrict your freedom. It actually creates freedom. Because when your time is organized, you have more space to enjoy life, more space to rest, more space to grow. So remember, time is life. Wasting time is wasting